Hi, Dave from Buzzy here. We've just introduced an update to the Buzzy Figma plugin that checks for duplicate Buzzy components and lets you resolve any conflicts that might arise. So just to give you a sort of a concrete example or a demonstration of this, here's a Figma design. It's a home screen and a content screen. I use a profile form, for instance. Now they share some common components. For instance, this massive footer down here, it's got a lot of complicated markup. There's a form, there's lists of links, there's layout, min-max widths and flex wrapping and so on going on. Now you don't want to have to mark that up separately all the time. So again, in Figma, you can use master components and instances to resolve this. For Buzzy, it will give you warnings if there's two things with the same name, because sometimes you want them to be identical. In other times, you may have accidentally ended up with the same name. So an example of that might be this content area here. Both screens have got a content area with a min-max width on it, but they're both just called content. Layout min-max, that's the layer name, and that's what it's been defaulted to on both screens. If they are treated as the same thing, Buzzy will randomly grab one of those instances, whether it's the one on the home page or the one on the profile page, and render that every time. So when you publish your app, you go to your home screen and you wonder why the profile form's rendering. It's because you've got a duplicate name and Buzzy doesn't know which one is the right one to use, so it just uses one of them. You need to, in this case, make sure that they're separated. So you need to make sure that your components have got separate names. The plugin, luckily, will warn you if there is a duplicate name. So in this case, when I select that home screen content area, it tells me there's another instance of this. And luckily, I can actually click on that and it takes me straight to it. So I can see, oh, look, I've got the same thing, the same name for a layout component over here, but it's not, obviously not identical. They've got different content. So I can resolve this one by just giving them separate names. So I could call this one profile content, for instance. And bingo, my conflict's resolved. That's now treated as two different things, two different layouts. On the other hand, for instance, in my complicated footer down here, again, Buzzy's detected, oh, there's something else with the same name. And again, I can click on it and here it is. It's on the user profile screen. Now, these two are the same. I don't want these to be separate. I don't want to go through the headache of marking them up individually every time I need to make a change to one of them. For instance, one of the links changes. I don't want to have to mark that up multiple times. So I can tell Buzzy, don't worry, one of these is the master, all the others are just instances of it. And the way I do that is I choose one of the ones, for instance, I want to be an instance. So I'm over here on the profile screen. I'll treat the home page one as the master. This one, instead of making it a component, I can just make it a reference. And it's now defaulted. It's figured out what I might be referring to, and it's figured out that this homepage footer is the one that I mean. It's the footer on the homepage. Is the actual Buzzy component, if you look at it. So it's my layout component. It knows now that it's also been referred to elsewhere, so it'll tell me where that's happening. And if I go over here, when I select this component, it now tells me, oh, this is an instance of an existing component you've already marked up. So basically it'll tell me, don't do any Buzzy edits to this. Go back to the master one. And again, I can select that from here. I can go to the master and make my edits. And that will then, when I publish, that will be used. It'll be one item or one component that just gets reused across your app or site. When you go to the Publish tab and there are conflicts, it will give you a warning as well, and you can choose to resolve that again. So, but that's basically what Buzzy means when you go to give something a role of reference. It's asking you to choose a parent template, basically. Anyway, so hopefully that'll solve a few problems that people have been having. No surprises when things are replaced when you publish. It gives you more control over what's going on. Thanks for watching.